our idea was to try and use some of the capabilities through Watson, really to be able to, and APIs out there, to be able to imagine a situation whereby people are trying to find restaurants of a certain type in an area. And the idea is that they can find the restaurant either through their mobile phone verbally, through their mobile phone as an SMS, or perhaps through Slack. Okay. And the idea is that ultimately the same back end would respond to the request in different ways. Now obviously, depending upon the way in which you request might determine the way in which the response is generated. Because obviously if you're phoning up verbally, well, how are you going to convey where you're going? So we didn't quite get that far, but obviously those would be considerations, because then you might be doing some, text-to-speech type response, perhaps. So I've seen this presentation, by the way, so this is going to be interesting.
Yes, let's see the easy scenario like this. We use voice to make the request, and the server, where is the marker? Marker in San Francisco. Okay, response is text. Then you can see it is near Street 4 beside the free stall. Okay, and you can request a voice. Okay, it's a conversation, not a Q&A. Is there any book type around there? Okay, around the Marie McCall. Okay, it will find, McDonald's is here. Oh, McDonald's.
Wow, golden arches.
Guys, just the presentation, I love it.
Okay, let's see how that is.
So
let's talk. See code. See code here.
Very nice.
Is that mine?
It's yours. Yes,
okay.
it's
Excellent.
yours.
So having considered how we're going to, the scenario, how we're going to get this to work. So Node-RED seemed a good starting point. The idea was not to only use Node-RED though, because Node-RED isn't great at UI type stuff. But the first start was just to try and get something to happen. Mm-hmm. So using Node-RED, we could use Twilio as a means of allowing people to make a phone call. Twilio then allows you then to send a response of some sort. So in fact, it's a two-stage process. So if I can use your keyboard, wow. Yeah, you click on that. Yeah. So double click. Sorry. Yeah. So the when you make a call, it will actually make a request to this URL here, a full request to get location. And what that does then is, you go to the next one, convert. So what that does then is says, okay, Twilio then expects you to send a response back of what you want it to do in XML format. So the XML is essentially saying, tell me what you want me to say to the caller on the phone in text form. So it's saying, hello, after the tone, please state the location of where you want to eat, I think it says. Like to eat, there you go. And then it gives you how long you want to allow them to record a message for, and importantly, once they've recorded the message, what do you want me to do then with that message? So it actually sends out another request back to Bluemix Node-RED saying process location.
Which is that other flow.
Yeah, which is the other flow.
Yeah, it's another flow.
So there's another flow. So it's not just a one thing that keeps going. You have to actually have a number of requests. So click on cancel. So then it calls this flow down here. So which one you clicked on now? Sorry. Oh, convert. Okay. So the first thing, obviously, in both circumstances, you just click on cancel. Sorry. One thing we learned yesterday is that because these are HTTP requests, we've got to send a response back in both cases. So that's why we got the HTTP response there and at the top there. Otherwise, it just hangs. Mm-hmm. And it happened then. I forgot to send a response back, and it's like dead. It accepted the call, but then nothing happened. And eventually, it timed out and said there's an error. So it's kind of strange thinking that HTTP response are needed on a phone, but it kind of works that way. So what's interesting with this is that when you record a message, it has to then tell you where it's recorded that message. It doesn't pass you the audio file directly. It passes you the location of where it stored the audio file in Twilio. So you have to convert that into the format in which the speech-to-text app can actually do something with. So well, you click on the speech-to-text one here. So you have to put all these things around what type of format it is, and narrowband means basically telephone quality. In fact, it could even detect that it was the wrong type, because it said, look, I don't recognise this, try the other one. And once you've done that, you have to convert it again so that it can be stored into JSON format. So this stores the location, that gets transcribed into JSON format, which means then we can put it into the cloud database, which would then allow us to then be used by what these guys are doing. So it does work, surprisingly. So let me just. The other cool thing is that I was using the IBM soft phone on my IBM phone, so rather than having to call a UK number each time I was trying, I made a lot of calls. It cost nothing. It was doing the soft phone. So let me just do this. Speaker. London. So that should have come into here. No, did not recognise the URL. Okay.
You probably spoke a little too fast. It's good to be like London, you know, a little more.
Let's try again. It's always the same with like.
Yes,
I've never been in this situation before.
Have you seen that? The voice recognition algorithm is called. Have you ever seen that one?
London.
Yes, London, yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah!
So this has actually been put into the cloud database now. Now what we couldn't do, or what I wanted to do then was, rather than just hanging up there, I wanted it to then say, okay, I've got the location. What type of restaurant do you want to have? You know, Italian, Japanese, or whatever.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite work a way of getting the call to continue in that way. There was like a redirect thing, but I just couldn't get it to work. But the idea would have been then, okay, I've now pressed hash, now do this, and that's been, and then that would have then populated the database with the types, and you got two things, location and type. And then we were then going to use Google to pass Google Maps the location and the type, and obviously the looking for a restaurant, and then the idea is it would have found that and come back with some JSON. And in fact, it did come back with JSON, didn't it? So tell them how far you got with that, because you were quite close to getting that to work in terms of doing the queries to Google using the API. I mean, you found the API for you to do this.
You know, we just couldn't get the return data from the JSON.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're doing yourself this service, because he spent a long while finding the right APIs from Google that provided all that sort of stuff. So it wasn't just using like.
And those APIs are tricky to use.
Yeah,
So.
So that's the kind of as far as we've got, unfortunately. For me, the biggest challenge was working out how to read the API documentation and translate it to what you have to actually type in.
Sure.
Frankly, you know. So for a while, you know, it's like, okay, so where's this audio file? There is no audio file. It's passing me a URL to where to get the audio file from. And it's whole thing of things in XML format, so you know, getting the XML right, because you know you've got like quotes in there, and when you've got strings with quotes, and that's also gets confused. So it was all kind of a bit messy. I think there's better ways of doing it, but it was a learning exercise. But it kind of does prove that you can do something using Watson. This is pretty basic, let's be honest. And it could have been, you know, passed on to something else to actually do a real lookup. And I guess we could have got back with, you know, an SMS, because we've got their phone number. So we could have sent an SMS of where it is, maybe even with some direction left or right.
Sure, yeah.
Potentially. You know, I think if we'd another week or so, we could have got there. So
Totally.
that's as far as we got, guys.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.